Hello there and welcome back. With this video we are going to start exploring component properties. So component properties are the changeable aspects of a component, and you can define which parts of the component others can change by tying them to a specific design properties. This allows you to control things like layers that you can hide or show, whether an instance can be swapped, or which text strings can be changed. So basically, with the component properties, you can allow other people to modify and change how an instance will look like without breaking the connection with the main component. And at the moment there are 4 different types of properties, like text property, boolean property, instance swap property, and variant properties as well. So in this video specifically, we are going to explore the text properties. So with text properties, we can specify which layer of the component can be modified as a text by others without breaking the connection with the main component. So now I'm going to use this same component that we have created in the previous videos, so it's just a simple button that contains a text, right? So whenever we select our component in this design properties or panel, we're going to see this properties category, right? So whenever I click this little plus icon here, so create component property, I'm going to see 4 different options or properties that I can create, right? So in this video, we're going to focus on a text property. So in order to create this text property, I'm not going to click this option. Instead, I'm going to select the actual text, which I want to convert into a text property that we can modify later, right? So select this text layer within this button component, and then in this design panel, just scroll down below a little bit until you find this content section, right? So here you can specify the actual text of this text layer, right? For now it says a button, which is totally fine. And here we have one option that says create a text property. So click that, and we're going to see here a new window that will appear. So as a name of this actual property, I'm going to specify a text, and the actual default value is a button. So let's just click create property, right? There we go, and now we have one new property within our actual component. So there we go. If we scroll up in our design panel, we are going to see here a new component, which is our text. So let's try and create here now an instance of this same component. So let's open up the resource window, then a component, and just drag and drop this component right here. Okay, so now we see here a default text which says a button, and whenever we select this instance of this component, then in our design panel we are going to see here a property that we can modify. So here it says a text, and we can now modify this text to say, for example, something different. For example, continue, and press enter. There we go. So now we were able to modify our actual text of this component without breaking the connection between this instance and this actual main component. So now if I try to change here, for example, the actual color of this button, then that change will immediately apply to that same instance that we have just created, right? Because we haven't broke that connection between those two, since we haven't tampered with that instance manually. Instead, we have just used that same property that we have defined within our main component. So that's how it works. And of course, if you don't want to change the actual width of your button whenever you add here some new text, then you can just go to your main component, and then here within this auto layout, you can just, for example, specify here the actual width to be fixed width. There you go. And now whenever we try to add, for example, a new instance of this component, and we add some longer text within this actual instance, for example, maybe sign in with Google, then the actual width of this button will not change, because now this component has a fixed width. However, you can of course specify its width to be high content, which will mean that our actual width of this component will increase dynamically whenever we add some text. Okay, so as you can see, this actual button will grow in a width to make sure that we have that same horizontal padding of 150, right? So that's how it works. Of course, now I'm going to set that to a fixed width. There we go. And that's everything you need to know about the text property of a component. So if you have any questions about this, then feel free to comment down below. And for this video, that will be all.